Hey everyone, welcome back to Unbiased Magic Reviews. I'm back with another honest and unbiased magic review for you today. I'm going to be taking a look at Free by Think Nguyen.
1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. What was the card? Jack of clubs.
I'm going to scream.
Hey, this is Think here, and I want to tell you about Free CAAN. I call it Free CAAN because it gives the spectator complete freedom. The spectator selects a card, the card goes back in the deck, we both shuffle one pile, we exchange, and then we shuffle again. So the whole deck is shuffled, and then another spectator chooses a number between 1 and 52, and when I take back the whole cards, the exact selection is at the exact position. Give me a number between 1 and 52.
37.
6 of heart, you say 37. 37. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 30. And then 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. What was your coin?
6 hearts.
And you got a 6 of heart. 37 position. That's insane, right? I'm Think Nguyen, and this is Free CAAN.
So this is Penguin Magic's latest card at any number release, and I'm going to call it a selected card at any number release because that's what it is. And for $10, you're going to get a 20-minute instructional video where Think Nguyen goes over the effect in detail and teaches you how to do it. Is this what I expected it to be? For the most part, yeah, especially because I have picked up his other recent release that was called The Surprise. So I was not very surprised, especially because I did kind of suspect there was some form of estimation involved here, and there is. So I'm going to answer some questions that you guys probably have about this, and then of course give you my own recommendations. What are my initial thoughts? I think it's a pretty good effect. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's a worker's dream as Penguin Magic advertises. And the main reason I tell you that is because there's one really big limitation with this card at any number. And that big limitation is that the spectator has to tell you the number and then you immediately go into the shuffling mode. So anytime you have a card at any number where you're going to have to tell the performer the number and then they handle the cards, that in my mind is not the strongest card at any number. So it's definitely not a worker's dream, as they mentioned. So some questions you guys probably have about this is how difficult is it to perform? I'm going to tell you guys that I would not hesitate to say that this is high intermediate level, maybe even advanced card magic. And the main reason is not because it's technically difficult, it's because you have to make it seem like you're doing nothing more than casually shuffling half of the deck in your hands. That's, if you can do that, then the effect looks very magical and it looks very innocent. But if you're not very good at handling cards, then it's going to look very suspicious. And keep in mind what I told you, that you're handling the cards after they told you the number. So that definitely is something to think about. The only thing that I would tell you that really has going for it is that the spectator's also shuffling, so maybe they're kind of concentrating on that, but anyone else watching is going to see what you're doing very closely. So you have to be able to, you know, handle cards well. How is the teaching on the video? I thought the teaching was pretty good. Think Nguyen went over all of the details very carefully. What are the other limitations of the effect? I really didn't like how he tells you on the instructional that if they name a number less than 20 or over 40, to just tell them, oh, well, that's too easy. Just give me another number between 20 and 40. I really don't like that. And just playing around with the effect, if you can do a little bit of math in your mind, I came up with my own way of using his method in easily being able to use numbers that are over 40 or less than 20 without having to go into any long procedure, which is what he tells you on the instructional, which is why he tells you, well, if they think of a low or really high number, then just tell them to think of a different number between 20 and 40. So I thought that was kind of weak. I think that if he had put a little more thought into it, he could have easily figured out how you could adapt the routine to do higher and lower numbers, just like I did myself, just playing around with it. But that's my own critique. The effect obviously is instantly repeatable, instant reset. There's no gimmicks or gaffes, so everything is totally examinable, which that's always really nice. The angles on this are fine because you're doing all the dirty work right in front of them, so there's nothing to really hide. Overall, I think the effect is very workable. I think a lot of people would like it. If you have any proficiency with cards, then you definitely should think about picking this up. I personally would give this a rating of 3 out of 5 stars, and the main reason I'm giving it that rating instead of a higher rating is because, like I told you guys, you have to have the spectator tell you the number and then immediately go into this shuffling. So that's the only big thing, that reason why I would really give this 3 out of 5 stars. And the other fact of the matter that he tells you that huge limitation that, well, you really can't think of 1 to 52. You want your spectator to think of a number between 20 and 40. So that, unfortunately for me, really does leave a sour taste in my mouth. Now, my own recommendations for you guys, if you are looking for an impromptu card any number that's relatively very easy to perform and very impressive, I'm going to give you guys my recommendation. There's so many out there, but I'm just going to throw one out there for you guys because I always like to leave you with some kind of recommendation on my reviews. And so I'm going to recommend to you guys today Joseph Barry's simple card at any number, which if you have his Blackpool 2015 lecture notes, then you can learn it there. But if you don't have access to his lecture notes, then you could simply just pick up his Penguin Live lecture, and he does teach both versions of his simple card at any number, version 1 and version 2. I actually prefer version 2. If you're curious about what that effect kind of looks like, just to give you an idea, the spectator makes a free selection, and it's a selected selection. The card's lost back into the pack is shuffled, and then you turn your back and they just grab a bunch of random cards from the middle of the pack and they count them, and then they add them back to the deck. And so you don't know what number they're thinking of. They're thinking of a number that they randomly came up with by just grabbing some cards. And so right up until the end, you don't know the card, you don't know the number, and you can let them deal down to that number. So that is a impromptu, anytime, anywhere, any deck card at any number that I would recommend, because really it's very, very simple. I think it's beginner level. Anybody can perform it. It's not technically difficult at all, and it looks really good, especially because, like I said, you don't know the card and you don't know the number until you give them the deck themselves and let them count down to it. You don't even have to know it. You actually don't even have to ask them the number. You could just tell them to deal down to the number, which is really nice. So it's a really good little simple card any number that I would recommend to you guys. Now, if you are interested in a gimmicked version, you can win my contest this month, and you can win my favorite card any number, and I will send you my gimmick deck. All you have to do is watch the contest video and tell me what the name of the routine is and the creator, and then I'll send that to you. If nobody answers that correctly by the end of the month, I'll probably either just do another contest, or maybe I'll just give it to whoever had the closest answer. Whoever came up with a routine that was the closest to that original one, I may just give it to them. So anyway, thanks so much, guys, for watching my reviews. I hope that this was informative. And at the end of the day, I would tell you guys that if you are interested, you can pick this up. I think some of you will really like it. Maybe some of you might not. But keep in mind, it is not self-working, and you do have to have some proficiency with cards if you want to try to use this. So I'll see you guys on the next review. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope that you're having a great week.